Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I have the update for pan those eyeshadows. So pan those eyeshadows I've been doing for almost 2 years now I think. I've been using the prompt list that Makeup with Laney made. That is linked down below, as well as Makeup with Laney. She is also linked down below. So I am trying to hit a pan for every prompt that was in the list. There was 100 prompts, some repeats. I've put all of the 100 in a wheel, and every time that I manage to hit a pan and a shadow, I can take that prompt out of the wheel. So let's go check out my shadows. I was very convinced that I had a shadow in from last time that I've been working on for 2 months, but everything I rolled in last update, so it's been in a month. I don't know. I know I've said in multiple projects that I feel like I'm in a rut and I'm not too motivated anymore, but I've just been on a roll for pan those eyeshadows. So let's go check out my shadows. So the first shadow I rolled was for the prompt a ColourPop matte. ColourPop mattes are daunting to hit pan on. They are difficult to hit pan on, but I had one in my collection that I had some previous use on. So I was like, I am gonna have to roll that one in. Oh my gosh, the sun is like just ever so slightly creeping over a house, and I'm gonna see if I can scoot back a little bit. Maybe just do this. Is that really screwing up my lighting? Like a tad bit. I think this is the best. Yeah. Sorry if that's a little bit darker, but I couldn't see. So the ColourPop matte. I had a matte in my collection that I had used on, and I was like, that is my best bet. I knew that this prompt was still in the rotation, so I kept using it off a little bit so I could hit pan for this project, and that is the shadow Bare to Wear. Now this was originally in the ColourPop Nude Mood palette. I did a recent declutter of my ColourPop shadows. I will link that video for you guys if you have not seen that yet. And I also built my new pan that palette for next year. I will link that as well. And the shadow was rolled into that I put it in that palette. So it is now in this packaging, so very lovely. But I will show you what it looks like. And if you tilt it just right, you can see the tiniest pan ever. I'm pretty sure this is the tiniest pan I've ever had in my collection. I've been using this religiously in my crease, so with a fluffy brush it's a little bit harder to hit a pan, but I finally managed to do it. This took me 18 uses to hit pan. Now mind you, I had quite a dip on this already. I am pretty sure I used this about 20 to maybe 30 times before it rolled into this project. So that's a lot of uses to hit a tiny baby pan, but I'm very happy that I managed to hit a pan in a ColourPop matte, and that it is leaving this prompt list and that I've completed it. The next shadow rolled in for the prompt Green Shimmer, and I picked a shadow from my Beauty Bay Earthy palette. This is one of my favorite Beauty Bay palettes. This one is still intact. The other ones that I have, most of the other ones, I've depotted. So yeah, a green shimmer. There was a green shimmer in here that did not have pan. It wasn't my favorite, but here it is. Right here, it is the shade Moss. And hopefully you can see that I did manage to hit pan. It's not too easy to see. The pan is a little bit stained green, it seems. I don't really know what's going on, but I definitely know that I've hit the pan, and I'm happy that this can roll out. I used this 5 times to hit pan, and I did kind of cheat because I know that Beauty Bay pans have these like ridges, and those are a little bit higher, so I usually try to aim for the ridge because you hit that just ever so slightly earlier than just the bottom of the pan. So I did that with this shadow. 5 uses to hip pan, not too bad. It was my favorite shadow, so I'm happy that it's rolling out. Then the next 3 shadows come from another Beauty Bay palette. This was in last month with 3 shadows, and it was again in with 3 shadows. So we have the first shadow for the prompt black shadow. So I rolled in the black shadow called Storm. Can you see that? Can you see that pan? Okay, that's a mini pan. Again, I aimed for the little ridge, and I used it as a liner, solely as a liner. So it's a very small, precise pan because I used a small, precise brush, but it is a pan nonetheless. I'm happy. Next, we have a shadow for Remind You of Summer, and I rolled in the shade Sunflower, and that is right here. So the polar opposite of the black, a yellow shimmer, yellow matte, and there is a pan right there. I hit pan in this in 11 uses. I actually used it today for the last time, and I hit the pan, so I'm happy about that. And then the last shadow out of here was for the prompt mainstream brand, and I rolled in the shade Nectar, which is this gold, and this also has a pan. Now this I also hit on that ridge. I didn't mean for that to happen, but this only took me 4 uses to hit pan, so that was a very quick and easy pan. I do really love this shadow. Very, very pretty, very pigmented. So this palette has a total of 3 new pans. So we now have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pans in here, which is very nice. So those are all rolling out. And then the last shadow was for Something You Want to Pan, and I was scared of this one because I know that these shadows are not easy to hit pan on, but I rolled in the shade Liquid Center from my Zoeva, what is this? The Caramel Delights palette. I depotted all of those palettes, and I now have a single collection of Zoeva shadows. I know that these are very deep and take a while to hit pan on, but I chose this shadow right here. It is stunning, and as you can see, I managed to hit pan. Was not expecting a pan so quickly because this took me 9 uses to hit pan, which isn't bad at all. But either way, I loved using it those 9 times. I really enjoyed that shadow, so I'm happy that it has a pan. So that means we have once again managed to hit pan in everything, and we're gonna roll 6 new shadows. I'm gonna update my wheel because I hit a pan this morning, so Remind You of Summer is gonna have to get deleted. And then we have 21 options left, and we will roll 6. So the first one is gonna be a Fantasy Self shadow. I should, by the way, well, it's too late, block out the ones that are already getting rolled, but it's fine. We shall see. And then we have Newest shadow. Reminds You of Fall. Random Color Generator. Okay. shadow that starts with N. So do I need one more? Yeah, one more. And that will be Something You Want to Pan. So that was clearly a repeat in the prompt list. I'm gonna check my collection and I will be right back. Okay, I forgot, we have to do a random color. So I just googled random color generator. So I think if I click this link, it will give me a random color. It's pink, a very light blushy pink. So I'm gonna find that in my collection and then see what other shadows I want to pick. Okay, I've made up my mind finally. The sun is about to come for me, so I'm gonna try and speed through this. I have my swatches. Should I just show you my swatches? Let's just check out my swatches. This is what I'm gonna be working on. Does this make any sense? I don't know. I'm a little bit terrified, but let's go through the shadows. First up, Fantasy Self Shadow. This is Makeup Beauty Shop Rome. And this, as you can see, is stunning, but it is a shadow that I rarely wear because it is quite grungy and dark. I mean, my fantasy self would be very grungy, and well, dare I say, she would just be an emo chick, and I would wear that every day. So I'm gonna roll that in. Then for newest shadow, it's gonna be Colourpop again. This is the Colourpop Twilight palette. I gave myself an easy one just because I don't think I can hit pan in another Colourpop like the one I did before. And I'm gonna be working on this shadow right here called Ice Cold. And Ice Cold is just an inner corner highlight shimmer. So it might take me a while, but at least it's not a very difficult shade to use. This lighting, sorry about that, guys. If I, no, that's gonna blind me 1000%. Okay, the next is a shadow from Laney, and I don't know what the name of this shade is. I depotted it and I did not label it, but it is a bronzy red color right here. Reminds me of fall, very appropriate for fall, I think, even though it's not fall right now, but it's whatever. I'm gonna try and hit pan in that. Then for the random color generator, I found this shadow right here from my Beauty Bay Love Notes palettes, which I think is a pretty close match to the pink that was on my screen. Doesn't really show up in the swatch. It's just a very light pink. I don't know, I might use it as a blush or something, but I'm gonna try and hit pan. Oh my god. Quickly, then shadow that starts with N. I rolled in my Juvia's Place Magic Mini, and I am rolling in the shade Nubia, which is right here. This is a very yellow gold. I love my golds, and I thought, you know what, it could pair nicely with that bronzy shadow. I'm gonna try and hit pan. And then this one was a stretch, Something You Want to Pan. I don't want to pan anything when I have this color story. I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's just because I have to. It's not because I really want to pan something also. So I rolled in this shadow right here. I will put the name on the screen because I don't know what the actual name is. It's a Colourpop one. It is in the palette that I made for Panna Palette, but that hasn't started yet. So I'm thinking I might be able to get a head start on this shadow right here, and that is swatched at the end. So that's also a very simple shadow to use, I think. I really didn't know what. Like I said, I didn't want to pan anything, but I'm choosing that. So that will be all for this video. I'm gonna scoot up over here before I get blinded by the sun. I'm very sorry about this last portion of lighting, and it's whatever. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Blinded.